Croeso and welcome to Beyond the Track podcast. My name is James, the coach, commentator, lecturer and endurance runner.
And I'm Jenny Nesbitt, GB distance runner.
In this podcast, we're going to be going beyond the track, talking to the very best athletes and sports professionals in Wales and beyond.
We hope you leave better informed and a little bit more inspired about running and athletics.
Croeso and welcome to Beyond the Track. My name is James Thee.
I'm Jenny Nesbitt.
And this is going to be our roundup of what's been a very busy weekend in this first edition of this brand new podcast. So Jen, what did you get up to over the weekend?
I ran a lot of miles, but I also watched a lot of miles. For once in my life, I was a spectator, not a competitor. So I tuned into the UK 10,000 metre championships in Birmingham. I got to see a training partner and a good friend in Clara Evans competing in the women's A race, running a time of 32.57, which was a great show following kind of a return from injury. And also another great friend, Daft Jones, he produced a brilliant result running the European Under-23 standard in the men's B race, placing second in a time of 29.18. So it was a great weekend for them over the 25 laps.
It was also a busy weekend for our Welsh runners, over 10 kilometres on the road. Barry Island on the Sunday morning, Jen.
Yes, Barry Island on the Sunday morning. I did look at the course profile and decided against it because it is a little bit hilly. But Natasha Wilson did the complete opposite to me, and she turned up, broke the tape in 34.21 to set a new course record off the back of a Swansea half marathon victory the week beforehand. So looks like she's trending in the right direction at the moment. In the men's race, we had Omar Ahmed taking the title in 30.06 with Jonathan Butler in second in 31.41.
Yeah, some great performances and also the masses in there as well. It was a busy weekend for myself on the microphone in Swansea at the Under-13, Under-15, Under-20 Welsh Junior Championships. Over 600 athletes. But I tell you what, the quality on the track in the field was phenomenal. Some of the standout performances, Millie Gold, a 2K, Under-20, Under-23, all-comers record with 6 minutes and 48 seconds was hugely impressive. Darcy Costa in the 400 metres and Under-17 going 54 seconds. Millie Webb was in second, also inside that record as well. So absolutely standout performances there. Sprints as well, the likes of Jessica Mantle. We had Lewis Stevens, both fast times over 100, 200 metres. And then we had a youngster in the 1K walk, fantastic athlete from Wrexham. That was Spencer Jones, who we think might have set a UK best. So that's brilliant. And talking about fast running at that under-17 age group and walking as well, we had Rowan Carson, the Bridgend athlete, who won the 800 metres, the 1500 metres. He almost broke the national record in both, but he did set the championship best in the 1500 metres. But it was also the throwers as well. The likes of Owen Garrett, who throws for Yates, winning the shot put and also the discus. And also look out for this name, Storm Evans, literally storming to the gold medal in the discus as well, winning with 43 metres 05. And then also we had some performances from our wheelchair frame athletes. Over 100 metres, that's our NDP athlete, Owen Terrell of Newport Harriers. He's in great form, 18.50. And then Imogen Ashwell Rice, also Newport Harriers, winning in 25.29.
Pretty busy weekend for you then, James.
Yeah, we could be here all day if I was to go through all the performances. But again, well done to all those athletes, those coaches and those spectators. What a weekend. And obviously our officials.
What a weekend. And away from the track and onto the mountains, we had the World Mountain Running Internationals for the Under-18s in Slovakia. Wales took a strong team of 8 runners with a top finish from Amelia Williams. She came 9th on the 5.2 kilometre course.
Wow.
Not only abroad, but also at home, we had the British Inter-Counties Mountain Running Championships with Tom Wood finishing 17th in the men's race in 50.47.
Wow, so it's mountain, it's road, it's track. Also abroad, we had out in Germany over 400 metres, Joe Breyer, season's best, 46.55. And then we also had Hannah Breyer, her second fastest ever. So that really bodes well for the rest of the season for Hannah, going 52.53. Both of them took part in the 4x4, and we'd love to see them in the red of Wales doing the 4x4 in a year's time. Also, Jen, it was a busy night in Vienna as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of these track races I really want to get to one year, but I wasn't there, but Toby Richardson, one of our National Development Programme wheelchair athletes was, and he clocked a fantastic 4:18 over the 1,500 metres. In the same event, not distance, but in Vienna, we had James Hennigan running 9:10 for his steeplechase over the 3K, over the 3K distance. So that's another name to look out for.
That is, and I love the fact that Mickey Bushill, who's a Paralympic champion himself, who was Richardson's coach, took fourth place in that race as well. So big up to the coaches getting involved in the races as well. But also on that theme of steeplechasing for Millie Gold, James Hennigan making his debut. We've got Gwen Good out in the US taking part in that always super competitive NCAAs. In the semi-finals, she clocked a time of 10:04. So I can't wait for her to come back on home soil and keep smashing it. And also out in Portugal, we had Tess McHugh run the 400 metres in 54:15. So again, strength to those 4x4s. So that's been a super busy weekend. We can't wait to see what comes this weekend. So welcome to Beyond the Track, our first episode, and I can't think of a better first guest than the athlete in front of us. He is by far the fastest man in Wales. He is the world indoor champion, Jeremiah Azu. Welcome to Beyond the Track.
Amazing. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you for having me.
Looking back to January, 18th of January, it's Nyack, Kincoid campus. You're lining up for the heats of the 60 metres Welsh Championships. 3 races later, you're Welsh champion. Progression then on to the British Championships. 3 races later, you're British champion. Then in between that, I think you had the birth of your son, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah. So, prior to going to the Netherlands, your place of birth, for the European Championships, 3 races later, you've equalled the Welsh record and you've taken the European title. That would be the end of some people's seasons, but not Mr. Azu. He then boards a flight to China 3 races later, equally in that same time of 6.49 of the brilliant Colin Jackson's for that world title. So your Para 10 is a thing of beauty when I look at it from the indoor season, where you had 12 races, and it was from that first race in January, where you progressed from Welsh champion to British champion to European champion to world champion with a baby boy in the middle. Does it get any better than that?
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. If someone was to tell me that was going to be the course of it, I probably wouldn't have believed it, because we were dealing with some stuff going into that British champs. But we got through it. Got my little boy out of it as well, and it's like dreams. Like, it's literally like dreams coming true.
That must have felt like almost like 5 gold medals, and to stack it all up and come back and, start the outdoor season. Great to see you run with the wind, and you ran a lifetime best there, 22.90. So again, has it sunk in yet what you did indoors to outdoors, or are you someone that processes things and you're on to the next one straight away?
I think I process it and then I'm on to the next. I think naturally the nature of sport, like, you're just thinking about the next thing. And it was just so fast, like between the Europeans and the Worlds, there was not really much time to take in what happened. And I think it was a good thing, because if I was to actually digest what I'd achieved, I don't think I would have been able to go back out there again. So I think the distraction of the baby and real life, moving home, everything was like so up in the air. All those distractions were good distractions, and they kept me like just focused on what the thing was next. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I think anyone that's been through those life experiences anyway, of having a child, moving house, to even anticipate or expect to be at their own level of performance. But you were winning European and world titles, so that's phenomenal.
You seem to take it all in your stride, but we'd love to go back to the start, really. We know you were born in the Netherlands. You moved to Wales kind of young. What was the reason kind of behind moving to Wales for your family, I guess?
I'm not actually too sure. I think my parents just said my auntie moved here, so my dad's sister moved here, and then he wanted to live near his sister, so then he followed her here. And then, we just set up our family here. And, all my memories are just from Wales, to be honest. I remember going back to the Netherlands for summers and, like, seeing my cousins and that, but, like, realistically, from 3 years old, all you can really remember is all I can remember is Cardiff.
I do remember some of your interviews before the European indoors, how you were saying you were from the Netherlands. It was special to be back. Did you think that had an impact on your result out there? Did you feel a bit more like
Yeah, I think so. I think there was definitely an element of like feeling at home.
Yeah.
Because naturally, I know that's where I was born. I could speak the language still a bit, so like there's definitely a connection there. I went back every summer up until COVID, and then since then we haven't really gone back much. So there's a massive connection, and I think it definitely like gave me that little boost, a little bit of a boost.
And looking back, do you remember that first time you stepped on an athletics track, or whether it was, introduced to the sport in primary school, secondary school? What's your memories of that, Jez?
So I went to a Catholic primary school, and they did, I don't know if they still do them, like all the Catholic schools in Cardiff would like race each other. And that was my first memory of it. And I just remember like, it just feeling so tense and like serious and like.
Don't tell me you were nervous back
I
then.
was nervous.
You don't ever
I was
seem nervous
nervous.
now, so I can't believe you were nervous then.
I was nervous. But once I stepped, it was like the time before. Once I stepped on the track, it was like, all right, let's have some fun. But up until that, I don't think I did.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
don't think I did.
I like that.
I don't
like
think I
that.
did. There was another kid that I didn't actually get picked for the individual. I only did the relays.
You didn't get picked the individual.
'Cause there was
Did you have
another
a
kid.
discussion with the selection panel? Or?
I don't think it was going like that back then. But there was another kid that just was quicker than me throughout all primary school.
Do you remember his name? Or?
Yeah, Ellis John.
Ellis John.
Yeah. He's. I see him now and then. To be fair, I see him around. Yeah. He's a cool
Has he
guy.
seen you since you become world champion? Did he give you a bit of a nod to say, I had your number back in the day? Were you part of the same relay team as well? Was there a relay back then as well?
Yeah, so we had a relay in our primary school. I think it was like 300 meters.
Wow.
It wasn't even the full lap.
That's some relay team there.
Yeah, it was solid. I just remember it was a lot of fun though.
Good.
It was a lot of fun. I just remember enjoying it. But the build up to it was just, I don't know why. Thinking back now, I don't know, because you'd just be sat on the grass with all the kids in cute, like your four teams.
Yeah.
And it was just like your heart's just beating.
I can see in your eyes. You're flashbacks to it.
Yeah.
Was it more nervous than the Olympic
100%.
4x1?
Yeah, 100%. The Olympic 4x1 in that core room, everyone was just making weird noises. It's like you're in the jungle sometimes. But yeah, us the British guys, we were just there, like, just cool, like, just. We were literally like we were sat here just chatting, like not like we were about to go out there and race.
I love that. So primary school
chill.
for you was more stressful than the Olympic call-up room.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So obviously you started off kind of young, I guess, to kind of introduced to the sport. But when did you join a training group, I guess, or your first club, Cardiff?
So I joined Cardiff in 2017. So I did all the primary school stuff. I did it for high school as well. I always represented the high school. But I never actually trained for it. I just did it like 2 races every summer. And then in 2016 or 2017, that's when I probably joined Helen. And then from my first session, like I literally didn't even look back. Like I just remember enjoying it so much. And I don't know what it was specifically, but it was just so much fun. And look at where we are now. Yeah.
Bit of multi-sport back then, and played a bit of football.
Yeah.
So, what was standard? Who do you support? What made you go down the decision?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a good decision.
Yeah.
Of solely athletics.
I think so. I was doing football up until 2020. Once COVID hit, then I stopped playing football. So I think for me, football's obviously a team sport, and I didn't like the fact that if I played bad, we could still win, or if I played bad, we could lose. Like, I like that in athletics. I have the control of like what happens. And I think the standard I was at in athletics was way higher than what I was in football. So I just kind of kept running with it.
I'm assuming you weren't a goalkeeper.
No, I was on the wing.
On the wing,
yeah.
And who's your team? Who do you support?
I haven't.
You can't say it. You can't say it.
I haven't even watched one of their games this year because it's just been too painful.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I'll just say I've been busy.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm a United fan, but it's not been good this year.
Okay.
Almost getting relegated is not a good look for.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. So, in terms of your coach-athlete relationship with the brilliant Helen James, obviously, how did you first meet Helen? And how did you talk about that first training session? And what got you down to train with Helen at Cardiff Athletics Club?
So she called my phone. I don't know how she got my number at like midnight or 11 p.m. one day, and she was just like, "Yeah, you need to come to the track." And I'm like, "Who is this?" I was like, I think I was asleep.
I love it.
And she's just like, "Yeah, you need to come down to the track. You've got a lot of talent. I saw you run at the Cardiff schools or Cardiff and Vale or something." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll come down." But I didn't go down for like another like 3-4 weeks.
Did she keep phoning you between that?
She didn't actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't.
Okay.
Playing the long game.
Yeah, she didn't. I guess she just knew I'd come down.
And when you went down there, what was that first training session like?
It was just, I can't really remember it specifically.
Yeah.
I just remember like the sun was out and the smell of the track, like when it's hot, is like, it's like, that has specifically stayed with me. And I think even like doing it in high school, every summer I'd look forward to that, like that feeling of just being at the track and the sun's out and you just get to race. And it's just like, you get the day off school basically and it's just fun, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was just that, like you just feel free when you're running fast. And I think that's kind of the feeling I was chasing at that age. And I just kind of stuck with it then.
Did you own a pair of spikes back then?
Did I wear? No, I was probably in trainers. I think I was in trainers, yeah.
So could you have thought when you went down the track for the first time that you'd be a sponsored Nike athlete as a world champion? Does that kind of, when you look back to that first training session, is that kind of like a cool thing, the smell of the track, but also the smell of success?
Yeah, I think I was saying to my training partners the other day, like if I was, because I have a, what's it called? A training diary. Yeah. And in there, like my bookmark is a picture of me when I was like 16, I think one of my first races in Nyack. And I was like, if I could tell this kid like what we've achieved, he wouldn't, like his brain wouldn't
blow his mind.
Yeah, it would just be like, so yeah, it is crazy.
Wow.
When you start to like list the achievements, like the juniors, the senior stuff now. And it's always the route I've wanted to go down. Since I started, I wanted to be successful. So I think I kind of approach everything like that. And so to have these achievements next to my name, like that no one can take away, I think that's the important part.
And interesting this year as well, you know, or going back to last year, you were out in Italy, a different training setup. Talk us through a little bit about those, you know, decisions, obviously to come back. We're delighted you relocated here and obviously reconnect with Helen. What was that process like?
It was everything kind of happened very quickly. I went back out to Italy and training was good. But I think knowing that the arrival of my son was quite soon, we did plan to have the baby here and then go back out. But realistically, like living it now how we did, it wouldn't have been possible. And I'm glad we like made that decision. There was like family decisions that came into that, and also training. I think I wanted to focus more on improving my mental game. I think you can get fit and fast in most places, but if your mind doesn't match that capacity, the performance isn't going to match. And I think that's what I probably struggled with the most while I was away. But I definitely learned a lot about myself on and off the track. And I'm glad I did it because I got that life experience of just living away. Because realistically, I probably would have just stayed in Cardiff my whole life. But now I can say that I've lived abroad for 2 years. I've survived, you know, I mean, by myself, without my parents.
What's your Italian like?
I can understand a decent amount. I can speak a bit. I could get by. Very broken, but I could get by.
And obviously similar climate here in Cardiff, right?
Nah. That's one thing that's like, when it's raining. I didn't realise how much it rained until I moved away. Because over those 2 years, every time I came back, it was just raining. Like every single time without fail. I think last year was a very wet year though. Because like this year it's been all right. It's been quite sunny since I've been.
And we got Nyack, obviously.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, that helps.
I was going to ask you what was your favourite thing about being in Italy, but it sounds like it's the weather.
Now the food was great. I can't lie. I found it very easy to get into shape, like diet-wise, because the training definitely took care of itself. But you need to match that with the food. Yeah. And because it's so like so fresh, like made the same day, like there's no preservatives, and like your belly can digest it like quite easily. So the food was definitely 10 out of 10.
Go on then. What was your favourite meal?
Carbonara. Yeah, it has to be carbonara. Yeah.
As someone who runs a lot of miles, I'm a big fan of pasta. So.
Yeah, exactly. You can relate.
I can relate. So you're back in Cardiff now with Helen. Yeah. What is it about her coaching style that you really like?
I think the simplicity of it. I think sometimes information can like overload you. Like when you're thinking too much, you can't do it. Like the more simple the information is, the better you can produce it on the track, for me anyway. And yeah, just little cues that resonate with me. And my body's able to do what she says. And I think that goes a long way. You can have some great coaches out there with a lot of technical input. And I think there's definitely a time and a place for all that. But for the majority of the time, I think the simplicity definitely works. Yeah.
And what kind of makes the ideal coach-athlete relationship? What do you put that down to?
I think trust and understanding, especially because she's known me since I was a kid. So sometimes she'll know me better than I know myself. Like there'll be times where I've raced and it hasn't gone right, and she'll tell me like before I've even come off the track, you were doing this, this, and this before, and you did it in the race, and it's like, then I'm like, oh yeah, I actually did that. So yeah, she just knows me on a deeper level, and I think that goes a long way, especially where we're working with such margins. Like the relationship is definitely has a massive input, and I think I can stand on that line and know that she believes in me as much as I do as myself, because every athlete believes in themselves when they set up on the line, but you need that backing, that team behind you to get that extra % out of yourself.
Yeah, yours is really small margins as well, so yeah.
We're not working with a lot of time. So.
Not got a lot of time at all. James and I, well, James especially, does a lot of coaching. I'm dabbling in it a little bit, but is that something like, and I guess I've been inspired by my previous coaches to want to dabble in it. Is that something like you'd ever consider doing perhaps when you're not running super fast anymore?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get into it. I did my assistant or level 1 like 2 Saturdays ago.
I love
so
that.
Like
Where'd you do that?
In Brecon.
Oh, wicked.
So it was like a full day.
Yeah.
And it was raining, so we were in the sports hall the whole day. It was a fun day though, but
Brilliant.
It was like 9 till 5.
But I met some.
That's a short day. That's a short day for a coach.
Okay.
Let me tell you that.
Okay. But no, I met some nice people, and it was an enjoyable day. Yeah, just.
Were they starstruck by a world champion putting out the cones and directing, and with the coaching cue cards as well, right?
Yeah, some of them were. I think some of them knew who I was, and then when I came back from lunch, then all of them knew, because they were like,
they've been online, checked you out.
But I kind of just went
so
in like
cool.
low key, like try to get away with not being noticed. But yeah, it's kind of difficult.
Not easy
now.
when you're a world champ, is it?
And that's big respect, actually, you know, going and getting your coaching qualifications. I remember myself doing that whilst I was still running as well, and almost seeing, you know, having to think, you know, about the future.
Yeah.
Was it interesting seeing it from a coach's perspective in terms of, you know, being outside of an athlete then?
Yeah, I think like it makes me realize it's not that easy being a coach.
Oh, I'm glad you say that.
It's actually not that easy. I think as athletes, we just show up and think our coaches have it all sorted. But like there's a lot more thought process that goes into it. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You've already talked a little bit about kind of your mental strength and how that's such a part, you know, of you and what you need to look after and work on. You've had setbacks, you've had disappointments, you know, but you know, how have you kind of learned from that through your journey, and how important is kind of, you know, what you've learned from those in terms of going forward?
I think it's everything. I always say I wouldn't change anything about my journey. The injuries, the false starts, like it's all part of my story. And at the end of the day, when I get to the end of my career, I'll be able to look back at all of them and think this happened, and that's why I was able to achieve this. I think it's athletics, it's sport, where you're working with fine margins. It's not always going to go to plan. Life never goes to plan, let alone when you're trying to do everything perfect in 10 seconds. So yeah, I kind of just roll with it. And I think my faith allows me to go through a lot of those things more, because I understand that God has a plan for me. So it's not the plan that I've written for myself, it's a plan that I'm understanding and going through, which is, it sounds easier said than done. And it's not like I'm always like this after like something goes wrong. I'm just sat there thinking, this is God's plan. I go through the pain of it, you know. But it's being able to, after 24 hours, reset and think, how do we get better from here?
You say you sit with something for 24 hours, then it's like you get up, you start again. I have like a 24-hour rule if I have a good race or a bad race. But how do you kind of keep level-headed with the successes as well as the disappointments? Like turn it around, come back and win another championship and something like that?
I honestly don't. Yeah, I don't really know. I think maybe because it's me, I kind of sometimes downplay my achievements. I think if it was someone else and you'd list all those things next to the name, I'd be like, whoa. But I think because it's myself and like I haven't reached what I want to achieve, I kind of just like put them away and like think about the next thing, which I don't know if it's the right or wrong way to deal with it, but that's just kind of how I deal with it. And I think my family keep me grounded, because like I understand that like I've been given a gift, so I can't like walk around like boasting, like acting like I'm like the greatest thing ever, you know, because there'll be more championships to come, more medals to win. So because the race isn't over, like my career's not over, I think that's why I'm able to just keep my head down and just keep working, because there's a lot more that I want to achieve. Yeah.
And you've got a strong team around you as well. Your brother Alex is in that training group, and how important is that to your success and that grounding and, you know, going to training with that group around you? And you talked about your family as well.
No, it's massive. I love training with my brother. He's always pushing me. mentally, physically on the track. Like yesterday, he was beating me up on the track, man. Like,
Nice.
And I'm just like, nah, I gotta get this guy. But it's a good incentive.
Yeah.
It's a good motivation. Where we've grown up together, like we understand each other very well. And it's nice to be in this space with him, I think, because it can be quite lonely. And for him to watch me race on the big stage, he understands what I've been through. So it is a bit more personable. Like our relationship has definitely grown over the last 3-4 years, where we spend so much time together and where we just like, been in the trenches together. Like you feel that pain when you're in that lactic, like you bond. Like it's weird, but you bond with people when you're in pain.
Yeah. And in terms of other people in that support team, you know, obviously the support you get through Welsh Athletics and the different practitioners and support staff, they all must play, you know, a really key role in keeping, you know, when you're talking about 12 indoor races and winning all of those races, to keep you in one piece, that must be a pretty tall order as well.
Yeah, I mean, like the staff, like behind, I don't even like to call them staff, it's just the team, the physios, the admin, like all of that is huge because like it's not a one-man show. Like it looks like it on the line, but there's so many people that have taken to get me to this level, especially indoors where we were trying to like keep me in one piece because there was a lot of races.
Yeah.
And it wasn't ideal preparation. I moved home like 3-4 weeks before that, and just training was all up in the air. And like, we at one point we weren't even going to do an indoor season. So it's those moments where the team is massive, because when things start to go left and you don't know the direction you're trying to get on, they kind of like pull you back on track, and it's like, no, we're doing this, and this is how we're going to get there.
Wow, an indoor season that almost didn't happen. Well, we're super glad it did. And the sport at the moment is going through a real kind of buzz. You know, races are sold out. We had at the Swansea Champs at the weekend with the juniors, over 600 athletes over 2 days. You know, do you feel really positive about the sport? Obviously, a Diamond League in London sold out as well. So it must be really a positive time for the sport.
Yeah, I think so. I think this narrative of athletics needs to change, because it is a popular sport. It is people want to see it. We're selling out stadiums like regularly now, which is where the sport should be. And like it's where it belongs. You know,
have you
that
felt
attention.
a change last couple of years?
It's difficult to say, because I think where I've been racing, naturally the stadiums are more full over the last few years. But I think it is trickling down into like the junior stuff, which is important, because you need to get used to that as soon as possible, because if you're racing and no one's there, then all of a sudden when you start to get good and now there's 40,000 people cheering, like that's a big change. So it's good to see like the juniors getting that attention, definitely. Yeah.
Perhaps away from the performance on the track, outside of that, what do you think the sport could do? I mean, you've got a YouTube channel, and I think that's like becoming such a great insight for other people to kind of see what kind of goes on behind the scenes and like shine your personality a bit. But is that the future, do you think?
I think so. I think as athletes, we don't get enough time live TV to control your own narrative. And I think where me personally, I just use my YouTube channel to show people this is who I am. Because I think stuff can get taken out of context in interviews, and like when you're on the start line, people will say you're arrogant or whatever. That's fine, but if you really want to know who I am, then you can see an insight to me. And I kind of use that. That's what I kind of use my YouTube for. So, and I do just enjoy it. I think when I look back to like me being younger, I just used to film, like in high school, I used to film everything anyway. I think I've just loved like capturing moments, and it's cool to give people that insight of, because it's quite a unique world, like behind the scenes of like the Diamond League circuit and all that. Especially me, like when I was started, I would have loved to see stuff like that. So I'm just trying to give people what the younger me would have wanted.
Give people what the people want.
Love that. And is there anything you'd love to see Welsh Athletics, UK Athletics, World Athletics do? Any different initiatives? Anything you've seen that you think, you know, that'd be kind of a cool thing to maybe break down barriers in the sport?
I think I'd love to see like in the 100, I've always said this, like a graphic. Obviously it's pretty simple to work it out, but like where you get the times everyone's ran and then like a raw time, so they just subtract the reaction time. Yeah. And it doesn't like change your position, but like to give people like an insight to like how quick people actually were moving through the race.
Also like a split, like a split within the race.
So like a 100 to 0, like so minus the reaction time.
Yeah. Wow.
So like for example, if someone ran 10 flat, you take off 0.14, and then that's
Yeah.
their raw time, and then that's their official time. I think that'd be quite cool to
I kind
see.
of feel we miss that
Yeah.
sometimes, maybe on a world level, Olympic level with the relays as well,
Yeah.
like almost split times coming up
Yeah.
on the screen as well,
Yeah.
but in real time.
Yeah, in real
So you can
time.
see what someone's
Yeah,
run on the back
yeah,
straight, and
yeah.
there'd be some
Yeah.
rapid splits.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
do you know what you've run fastest rolling 100 meters?
Nah, I've only ever done bends, so
Okay.
I've done first and third.
Yeah.
I did fourth for Wales a couple of years
Okay.
ago, but it was Manchester International, so
Oh,
there
so
wouldn't have been-
headwind.
Yeah. no splits coming from there.
What's your favourite position to be in within a relay?
I can't lie, I have been enjoying first leg, and I think it suits me. Just in the team, I think the athletes we've got, I think that's probably like the best position for me. I wouldn't mind running last as well, getting the mix and getting that pressure. But yeah, first is probably like, I have enjoyed it. I like, as much as I complain about it so much, like behind the scenes, but I actually
Not
do,
first again, oh my God.
I actually do love it. Yeah.
I like that. So obviously, we know athletics takes a huge amount of your time, but anything you enjoy outside of athletics? Any hobbies?
I play the keyboard.
Okay.
Sing a little bit.
I did see that actually.
Yeah.
You've got a bit of a musical background, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love that.
Is there potential for a bit of music being released in the future,
Oh,
maybe?
nah, I don't- maybe like covers of stuff. But I
Okay,
don't think
okay.
I'll make my own stuff.
Not an intro to the YouTube?
Maybe. Who
wow,
knows?
yeah.
Maybe for
Yeah.
season 2 next year.
Or even season
watch
two.
space.
Season 2 Beyond the Track might
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
I
new
might
theme
make you a
tune.
little-
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
We'll
work on that. Yeah,
we'll speak to
yeah.
your people. We'll speak to our
Alright.
people.
Yeah.
So in terms of your hobbies as well, I remember seeing, we were chatting that, straight after the World Indoors, you're DIYing in the house.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you stripping the walls.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, I even said to you, I remember thinking, I can see the world indoor champion stripping the walls.
This is the reality.
You saw that as well, Jen, didn't you?
The behind the scenes of a training day.
Yeah.
Do you not think to pay someone to do that?
Nah, I'm just like, I think the way I've been raised, we just get it done between us. So it was all just everyone's hands on deck. My siblings helped out, my parents helped out, and we got it done. The house is complete today.
Is it?
Is it?
Wow.
Sofas are coming.
Wow.
And I can finally.
So did you do it all? The painting? Did you do
the painting? So like.
any sanding of floors?
Yeah, house sanding,
That's-
skirting boards.
that's tough, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tough job.
That's a workout.
Yeah, it was. It hasn't been easy, but I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I did it everything at once. It just feels like now I can breathe. Some people probably wouldn't do it this way, but I'm just
Ready for
just getting the
summer
deep
now.
end. Yeah, getting
Yeah.
the deep end.
And in between that as well, obviously, fathering duties, busy.
yeah.
I think you've had a few different nappy explosions. I think I remember reading as well. So you've had to deal with. So it's back with DIY nappy explosions.
Yeah.
Probably a few household bills to pay in there as well. So
Yeah.
I think it's great for our listeners to hear that. Yeah, even
real
if you're
life.
European champion,
Yeah.
world champion, you still got to get back to
Get back to
real life.
Yeah, and I think I kind of use that as well to just like bring me back to earth, because I could have easily paid somebody to do the house, but I'd like to get involved and like work on it, and like it makes the house feel more like mine, knowing that I had a massive impact in like making it how it looks now. And I think I just kind of approach everything like that. I don't really like people doing stuff for me. I just like to do stuff myself.
I love
Yeah.
it. So if anyone needs any wallpaper stripped
Yeah, I'm down.
at the end of the track season,
Yeah.
then give Jez a shout. Yeah.
Give me a shout.
Looking like your second career is going to be a painter decorator then.
I don't know about the painting. Though. I don't really have a steady hand. Like I'm quite like.
I guess okay, so if you're not going to be a painter or decorator, outside of the sport, when you've moved on, thinking about a second career, what kind of sets you alight?
I love cooking. I'm in the kitchen every day. Just trying to make something new. Obviously, it gets to a point where you can't just create stuff anymore. But I do enjoy cooking. So maybe I'll like set up a little like trailer. I'll drive around, park up somewhere.
Yes.
Upload it to my story if you want some burritos. I'm over here. But yeah, something like that.
What about a world champ recipe book?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the world champion eats.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I guess then, last meal on earth. I know you like a carbonara, but come on.
Last meal on earth.
And who are your 3 guests
Yeah, and who you
with
bringing
you?
with you?
Who's with you at this dinner party?
One would be Bolt.
Yeah.
Because I still haven't met him. I'd like to just...
You've not met him yet, but okay, we're going to make that happen.
I've been in a club with Bolt.
Okay.
Post-Com Games 2018.
Okay.
Best night of my life.
Yeah, the Jamaicans know how to party,
Yeah,
right?
they do.
What would be Bolt? Ronaldo. And...
I'm free. I like carbonara as well. So like, no, come on. Who's your third? Anyone on the planet?
Dead or alive?
Yeah, dead or alive. Yeah.
It's quite random. I'd love to meet like my great granddad.
Oh,
just like
that's awesome.
Because like I have no idea who that is, and I'd like to know, like, even just to see what he looked like. Because family trees are quite weird, especially because my parents have moved here, so I don't have like a massive family in Cardiff. So I'd like to like see where I like actually came from, like that far back.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. So it's been an incredible start to the year, and obviously, you've got a busy few weeks coming up. So give us an idea of what's coming up now, and obviously, we're 12 months away from another Commonwealth Games. How exciting is that?
Commies is going to be amazing. But in the short future, I've got the Diamond League in Eugene, then I've got London Diamond League, then British Trials, and then after that weekend, we'll decide if we race again or if we just go straight to the World Champs. Yeah, so basically 4 more races left, which is kind of crazy when you say it like that.
Wow. And obviously all eyes on World Champs.
Yeah.
But I love the way your eyes lit up about Commie Games as well.
Yeah, Commies is going to, especially because it's going to be in the UK again. Birmingham was like out of this world. Like the fans were like, that noise was incredible, like honestly. Especially to hear that in the UK, because I heard that volume in Paris, but obviously it's in the Olympics and it's like the French fans are like quite rowdy anyway. But like to get that kind of volume in the UK, it was like insane, honestly. And yeah, we've even got like trials back there in Birmingham this year, which is because I love that track. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it, to be fair. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting 12 months building into that. Hopefully we can get a relay team qualified, because that would be sick. I can run with my brother.
That would
I was
be
going to say, yeah,
amazing.
that would be very cool.
I'd probably, depending on what athletes we have, but I'd probably run second and he'd be third, so I get to change it with him. That'd be sick.
So not first?
Nah,
or last?
No, not first or last, yeah.
The one you didn't mention, actually.
Yeah.
So I guess the bigger term picture then, you've got this year, but next year it's the Com Games. Mm-hmm. Preparing for that, would you go away on a camp or would you stay home? Like, do you have that even?
Yeah, we've been having those
scheduled?
conversations over the last couple of weeks, and I want to go to Dubai, but obviously not everyone in my group can just get up and go to Dubai. So yeah, we're going to try and find somewhere just warm, go away in January and just get in the heat. But we're not sure yet where yet, but definitely somewhere. Definitely somewhere, yeah.
And then not everyone knows this, but before Com Games, we have a holding camp, a prep camp. Last time it was at the Vale.
Yeah.
Give us a bit of an insight behind that. Like, how does that aid your performance going into the Com Games? What does it look like? I know we had a bit of table tennis going on, but...
It was cool just to be around the athletes. At the time, I was a bit like, this is so pointless, because I live in Cardiff.
I'm driving back to
I was like, what? But looking back, it definitely gets you focused on like what you're going into. Because naturally, if it was in another country, you wouldn't be at home. So it was good to treat it the same. Yeah, I was the Mario Kart king then, so I was just winning Mario Kart every night. Yeah, Jenga, we had a bit of Jenga going on. And then, yeah, we even put our suits on for the opening ceremony, but I didn't have a suit, and I still haven't got it till this day.
Are you still waiting for a suit?
I'm still waiting for it to be delivered to my house 4 years
Just
later.
in time for the next, in time for the next game. Well,
Yeah.
How special is it to run for Wales? Obviously you get lots of opportunities to run for Great Britain, but that chance to pull on the red vest.
It's so unique. Like, I kind of look forward to it more because it's so, like, it's not as often. And yeah, like, you just feel like a different like strength when you put that Welsh vest on. You truly feel like the Welsh people are actually with you. There's definitely an element of that when you wear the British kit, but like, because I'm like the only Welsh sprinter like in the GB setup, I just feel like it's such a unique feeling to be like away from that and have the Welsh vest on. Especially because we're the Dragons as well. It's like there's so much power in that, do you know what I mean?
I think with the Com Games as well, what's so special is they actually design a kit for the athletes in the event. It's different from the kind of everyday Welsh kit. I always kind of look forward to kind of what the rogue item they push in there as well.
There's always something.
There's
something
always something,
random.
isn't there?
Yeah, there's always something. Yeah.
So I guess, final question. In athletics, what would you love to achieve? What's the ultimate goal? Or is being the fastest man in Wales, world indoor champ, world European indoor champ? Like, what is it that you really want to achieve? Or is there like a never-ending, it's just forever it's going on?
Nah, I think Olympic gold would be like, that would be like, I'd be so content with that. But even then, probably I'd probably want more, you know what I mean? But yeah, looking towards LA, I'll be at a decent age. I think this next 4 years, I'm going to get like a really solid foundation in. And yeah, I'll be ready to go for it there. I'm excited for it, especially because it's going to be in America and they like to do things big. So yeah, it's going to be in LA. And yeah, if I can go there and get that gold, that would be me made up. Yeah.
Then straight back to the painting and decorating afterwards for the new house.
I'll probably have a new house to work on by then.
A bigger house, a mansion, somewhere probably in Hollywood, with that movie of your life coming out. So, question we like to ask, or we're going to ask our guest, because you are our first ever guest of Beyond the Track, is what's a bit of advice that you've been given that you would pass on to others?
It sounds so cliche, but like, if you've got a good relationship with your coach, you've got to trust them. Naturally, as an athlete going through it, your thought process is overloaded because you're thinking about running and then you're thinking about, I'm not running well and all of this. But if you've been somewhere with your coach before, like trusting that and trusting them to get you there is massive. I think when I moved home, one of the things I remember when I left Helen, we had a conversation, and it's never easy when you leave a coach, but she had so much respect for me in that conversation. And she made it so clear that if I ever needed to come back, the door was always open. I think that meant a lot to me because you hear about stories of other people leaving coaches and it's just like they can't even be in the same room, you know? So, yeah, every time I saw her while I was away, she showed me nothing but love. And there's just that massive trust. And, yeah, it's allowed me to believe that she knows what's best for me. Because even though at that time she said, I don't think that's the best for you, but, like, go ahead if that's what you want. I'll support you in that, and you can always come back. So yeah, I've always felt that the trust between a coach and athlete is massive.
Well, that's great advice. Thank you, Jeremiah Azu, for being the first of our guests on Beyond the Track podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So looking ahead to this weekend, we've got Piers Copeland over the 1,500 metres in Germany.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Also, we've got Hannah and Joe Breyer going again over 400 metres in the super fast Geneva meet.
Whilst domestically in Loughborough for the BMC Grand Prix, we'll have a host of our middle distance athletes over there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the results from that. And also the results from the 2025 Junior British Inter-Counties. That's the Fell and Hill Race Championships to be held in conjunction with the Clotha Pike Fell Race. And it's also the Sky Run back in North Wales as well. So ranging from 10 miles to 34 miles, Jen.
Whew, sounds a bit of me, that. But lastly, we've got the Ostrava Golden Spike next Tuesday, where Izzy Boffey is due to race. Can she crack sub-2 for the first time this year?
Well, if she does, we'll be reporting it next week on the second episode of Beyond the Track.
And from James and I, thank you for tuning into the podcast. We'll be back again next week with another special guest. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this podcast, or check us out on YouTube.